Have you been on a first date and thought, well, that's not it? Or maybe you just ignored the red flag only to regret that later. Okay, today I'm exposing 5 major red flags you need to look out for so you don't waste your time on the wrong person. Let's dig into that. The first one, they talk about their exes too much. And it doesn't matter if they praise them or they talk bad about them. Any of these, if it's over the top, it's a red flag. I remember I went on a date with this guy and he was talking about his ex girlfriend a lot. He would say things like she was physically abusive, she was mentally unstable. And I felt bad for him. At the moment, I felt like I'm a therapist and I was trying to understand his perspective and hers, which I don't even know why I did that on the first date. But at that time I wasn't sure how to take it, how to respond to that, and also lack of experience. And I met him a few years later, and I realized that he was talking about like his recent dating experience the same way, in a very negative way, that she's this and she's that. So I realized, okay, though, dude, you are the problem. It's only natural to ask questions about your past relationships. Of course, we are curious and you need to know what happened before. But talking too much about your ex, it's not a good sign. All right, the second one is sex talk. Let's talk about sex, baby. I'll tell you about my experience. When that happened for the first time, it felt disrespectful in a way. Um, and I remember him asking me questions about positions or something like that along the lines. I don't remember exactly. But at first I was like, are we talking about sex or what is happening? I was so shocked. And he was like, yeah. So to him, it seemed very normal. And guess what? That was the first and the last date with that guy because it just didn't feel right to me. And maybe me coming from a traditional family, it's not okay to talk about those things on a first date, especially. So yeah, that happened for the first time, and the next time I met with a guy and we had dinner, and then he made a joke or something, and he had a great sense of humor. I was taken aback, but also me talking to him for like an hour or so, I already know like the way he talks, the way he make jokes, and I was like, well, it's fine, I guess. I kind of let it slide. And the second date we had, he made a comment again. It was sex related comment. And then when that happened, I was like, well, I think I should say something. I told him that this kind of jokes or comments make me uncomfortable. I barely know you, and um, I don't think it's appropriate. He was shocked that I was so direct and told him the way it is. And I mean, he did say sorry, but that was the last thing he said. And we didn't talk for the rest of the date, basically. And I went home. The next thing we're going to talk about is they make zero effort to connect with you. So when they don't start the conversation or they don't ask enough questions or you carry 99% of the conversation, that's a red flag. And I get it, some people are shy, they're introverted, and it's hard for them to carry the conversation. I remember one time I went on a date with a guy and he prepared the list of questions. And it was funny to me. At first I thought, well, that that just feels like an interview. There's a list of questions. But after like a second or third question, I thought, well, that's a good idea because instead of feeling awkward, and he knew that he's going to be shy, and those questions were like deep, not like what's your favorite color. So I did appreciate that a lot. And I also like that when I would respond to the question, he would also have an answer to that. So it's kind of like you getting to know me, but I'm also getting to know you. So I thought it's a good idea. If you feel like you're going to be nervous or shy, at least have some help from Google. And if they have a good intention behind it or actually get to know you and those questions are meaningful, I think it's good. Because the other experience I had, that was a negative one. I went on a date and I was the one asking questions just to not feel the silence, the awkwardness, and he he was not asking me a lot, and I had to end it in 20 minutes because there was a lot of reasons for me to end this date, but That was one of them, not him actually being interested and asking me anything. And after those 20 minutes, I said, I have to go. So that happens too. On the first date, you should be curious about one another and have this ping pong conversation. And if that doesn't happen, then I guess there is lack of interest. All right, let's go to the next one, love bombing. If you actively dating, you probably experienced that at least once. And I've experienced that last year, mm, probably 3 or 4 times. And if you don't know what that is, love bombing is when they overly compliment you. They think you are the love of their lives right off the bat, and that feels very validating. You actually fall into that trap because, well, there's an ego, and it just feels nice when someone likes you that much. I remember one time the guy on the first date told me that he wants to introduce me to his family. So that was funny. Another time, someone said, well, I'm going to delete the apps right in front of you because I know I found the one. And I know it feels nice, but don't listen to your ego and be mindful. Remember, you don't know this person. And the fifth one, they talk about money too much. And it's one thing being, financially responsible and being an adult and ask questions before we jump into something. But asking those questions on the first date, I don't think it's appropriate. I remember one time, one guy, he asked me about how much I make. I was a little shocked to hear that question. But to be fair, he asked me, but also he responded to that as well. So he told me how much he made. And now thinking and looking back, maybe he was just trying to figure out if we are on the same level or not. And but again, on a first date, I don't think it's a good idea. And another aspect of this, complaining about the bill or maybe flexing too much. Don't make the money your entire personality. And there you have it, 5 major red flags on a first date. Now drop in the comments, have you ever faced any of these red flags, or maybe all of them altogether? Or maybe you have something different, and please share your unique experience. And don't forget to subscribe and like. Bye.